Okay, folks, in the best interest of time, we're going to begin our session.
But I lost it.
Some folks may have to leave early.
Because
Says the family home is on.
Let me welcome you to our June 25th meeting of the Tricentennial Committee. A chance for us to continue to plan and prepare for the year 2025. 6 months away as we come to the end of June, not too far away. I know folks think that 2025 is a long ways off, still plenty of time. We're going to make it happen. Congratulations to all of the voting members who got re-elected last night at the select board meeting. And we're going to take it to the finish line. And I know that there's a lot of things that have happened. There's a lot more to do. And I think the select board was very pleased at the progress that's been made. And of course, we welcome some new people that are here, and we're going to meet you as we go around and do some introductions. Thank you certainly to Joan for hosting tonight's meeting. And we also thank ECAT, Eastern Community Access Television, for not only covering our meetings that we can share with the community, but they've agreed to cover all the events in 2025. So that's going to be a full-time job for them, and we appreciate it very much. I now would like to call this meeting to order. I was hoping that we would have everybody here this evening so we could do a photo shoot. But that's not possible this evening, but we're going to throw a date out, which is the 23rd of July. Giving you advance notice. If some of the guys want to do makeup, the fact is we are going to do a photo shoot. And Chris has agreed to bring his camera. And we not only want to take a photo of those folks who are voting members of the board appointed by the select board, we also want to take a photo of all the coordinators and all the volunteers that are stepping up to do what they can for the 8 signature events. My intention tonight is to talk about those signature events, make some suggestions. I'm hoping that we can kind of finalize the events, the dates, the time, the place, and the final decision comes from the folks who are on the board. So at this time, with the meeting being called to order, the first thing I'd like to do is some introductions. Let's go around the table, introduce yourself, and let us know what your role will be on the Tricentennial Committee. I'll start with you, Dale.
Yeah, so Dale Carister, and I've been trying to lead up the efforts on the community relations. And to my right, I brought along Mark Finnicor with me this evening, who's a friend of mine from the Lions Club, who's going to be helping as part of the community relations team. So we're stepping our efforts to get the word out to all the community organizations. Mark's all about community, community, community. And so look forward to having his help.
Diana Sardi, Secretary, co-chair of the Arts and Cultural Festival and the Cookbook.
Roz Miller, Assistant Secretary, Secretary of the Parade Committee, co-chair of the Cookbook. I think that's it.
Karen Hetzel, volunteer, helping with a bunch of different things, and will be coordinating the Lanewater Farm event.
Amanda Hurley. I am the co-chair of the kickoff and the gala, as well as merchandise.
I'm Jeanette Camara. I'm the treasurer, keeping track of the money in and the money out.
I'm Jessica Zimmerman. I'm the recording equipment.
Okay, Michael, business relations, fundraising, utility clerk.
Ann Draper, photographer, herself.
I'm Chris Ventrasco, head of photography and member of the club. Joan Lundgren. I'm chairing with Diane Masadi the Art Day on April 26, 2025. Looking forward to it.
Bill Ames, honorary member. I guess I'm ready for a sign up.
I'm Joan Astor, and I'm a newbie, and I'm waiting for the sign.
You're going to help me too.
I'm Ken Wood, and I'm on the parade committee, and I'm also the coordinator for the manpower for the event.
Mark Vinnecourt, I'm an Eastern Lane. I also do a lot of work with the Shoveltown culture, with the concerts here at the hall. Humble servant of Dale.
That's where it should be. You'll get cookies. You'll get cookies. Courtesy of a man
You already
and
gave them.
everybody else.
Yeah, that was great. And I'll help with that. I'm really into music and events, coordinating events for music. So I'll help on that way too. So thank you.
Thank you all for being here. The first order of business is to vote and approve the minutes of May 28th. Now, our secretary, we appreciate the work that you do to not only get the minutes, the agenda, and do all the posting. We appreciate it, Diane. She sent out a copy of the minutes. Any discussion on the minutes? Any questions, any additions, any subtractions? Seeing the answers, go ahead, Sam.
Which minutes are we voting?
Tuesday, May 28th, we'll do those first.
528.
And Joan?
I made a motion to accept the 528 minutes.
We have a motion by Joan, seconded by Ken. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? It's unanimous by the voting members. The minutes of May 28th are approved. And now I'd like to pass by you the minutes of the brainstorming session that took place on June 11th over at the ECAT conference room.
Okay.
Go ahead, Diane.
I have a change on the second, second page as I printed it. I did not state that the parade moved from July 4 through to July 12. I left off the 12. So the parade will be on July 12 of 2025. And under members, William Ames is honorary co-chair. Frederick Ames is honorary co-chair. So I amended that. That's it. Unless there's anything else.
Any discussion on the minutes of June 11th? I know it was a brainstorming session. The meeting was also posted, and we had the majority of voting members at that meeting. So if no one has any suggestions or additions, I look for a motion.
Motion to approve.
A motion by the Cookie Man. Do we have a second?
Second.
Roz Miller.
Second.
A second by Roz Miller.
Yeah. Good.
No discussion. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, the motion is carried.
Thank you.
So we approve both minutes, and our appreciation, Diane, to you as well as Roz, the Assistant Secretary, for making sure that we have that on file. The next item would be the report of the chair as well as the vice chair. And I know that both Dale and I have some brief comments to make. I know that as we close in and get closer and closer to 2025, my hope is that we can get all the coordinators of the 8 signature events to not only finalize their program, but to come to our committee during July or August to present their proposed budget. I didn't see where it's going to be possible to do it in June, although a couple of committees are ready to roll. We still need to give them some time. And I just wanted to be able to put in the minutes of our meeting that we'd like to be able to accomplish that task during July and August. So when we get into the fall, we'll know exactly where we stand, and it'll be helpful to us in terms of the budget. And I know that all coordinators have been contacted about presenting a proposed budget with the items that they feel they're going to need to make this work. And of course, security is part of that. I know that there are going to be some expenses, except for there won't be local police at Stonehill College. For the opening event and the closing event, we'll be using Stonehill College Police. And I know, Amanda, that your budget that you've proposed so far, you're going to discuss tonight, includes security. I'd also like to mention that we have a number of people that have come across with the purchase of pole banners. I want to thank both Ken as well as Courtney, our chair of fundraising, for making this work. It's amazing, not too many people have said no from the people I've been in touch with, and I'm sure that Ken probably had the same scenario. One of the things that I'd like to do, so we don't have to keep bringing the same things up over and over again, is to try to get some of these things finalized. Sometime during the early part of the summer, we'd like to be able to get at least 60 banners to the printer that we've decided that's going to do our printing for low bidder. And then go back with maybe another 30 or 40 later on in the summer for those that are still waiting to make their contribution of $300. There are some that are going to be part of in-kind services. They're going to be major donors. That's part of what they get as a pole banner as well. The pole banners will go up in early November of 2024, and the banners will come down in December of 2025. So they're going to be up for over a year, and they'll be on every other pole on Main Street and every other pole on Center Street. And when we talk about Main Street, which Ken is responsible for, it's all going to also surround Memorial Hall as well. That's all going to be considered part of the Main Street. We also will be putting some banners, and that certainly is a request from the folks that are donating $300 for banners at 5 pounds. So whether it be Shaw's or McGuire's, or the list goes on and on. At first, we thought that 60 banners would be a lot, and then it went to 70 pledges, and now it's 90. The DPW manager, Dave Fields, has agreed to make sure that his crew will put the banners up and take them down. How important it is for Ken, as well as myself and Courtney, to go over the appropriate saying on each banner for the sponsor. The last thing we want to see happen is to have DPW put the banners up and then they got to take them down because they're misspelled or there's an error. So we're excited about that. It's going to also raise $10,000. And enough about the banners, but if you have any contacts, local people that are interested in a banner, make sure you see either Ken or myself or Courtney. And I know we have to do some follow-up, not just on the banner payments, but also on the major donors. So, any questions on the banners? We shall move on. Thank you very much. And now I'm going to pass it over to Vice Chair. Dale?
Yeah, so just a brief update. So as I mentioned earlier, Mark's going to be helping me on the community relations outreach, and I think it'll also dovetail nicely as we finalize the signature events, because we have had a number of organizations that would like to help volunteer on those events. It would be helpful to have that certainty as to what those events are, and also to work with the community organizations in terms of how they can plan their own events that complement what we're doing, so the additional events throughout the year. Secondly, I'm going to hand this over to Amanda to fill in, but we had a very productive meeting, Amanda, Anne Marie, and myself with Joe Petey from the town, and he's responsible for the kind of the recreation and other community programs in town. And as it turns out, they have a new application platform that is available for our use for the purpose of selling the merchandise. So we had a very productive meeting with them. So I think we should probably, I don't know whether we put it up for a vote tonight or not, but we need to. But in any event, rather than setting up a separate nonprofit with all of those complications of having to do separate filing forms with the Attorney General's office and so forth, this thing is linked directly to the town. So there's already 3,000 registered users. So if you go in and you're doing a recreation course, there's a series of offerings that you can select, and your payment goes directly to the town. So the town will be setting up a separate account designated for the sale of the merchandise for the Easton 300. And this will make things a lot easier. The town has also volunteered to provide a place where people can pick up that merchandise, so over at Frothingham Hall. So when folks have done their orders and so forth, then they can pick up their merchandise, once a week. Some of their abouts will update things. Anne Marie, if I'm understood correctly, is going to be holding on to the merchandise, but then we'll be periodically delivering things to Frothingham Hall. But the nice thing is that it's all within the town system. The monies go to the town. We don't have to set up a nonprofit. So I think it's a simple and hopefully elegant solution to the problem about the sale of the merchandise. Amanda, did you want to add anything?
Yeah, the only thing I want to add is they already have the little Clover or, credit card machines. So they're going to let us use those. And they also have portable Wi-Fi for us. So they're going to let us use those as well. So if we're at Langwater doing a table, we don't need to worry about finding internet and secure and all that stuff. It'll all be part of the town, what the town already has. So he was really great. We're going to sit with him to get our kind of like a sub page set up within the programs on the site, and we'll have our own drop down and everything, and then they'll be able to do all that fancy stuff. And I think it's gonna look really cool. It's gonna be really easy. The reporting looked really easy, so we'll be able to reconcile all that stuff and print receipts and all that jazz stuff.
And when the time comes, we'll put out the word. We'd like to get as many people as possible to get the appropriate training, the PCI personal credit information, which will be necessary in order to be operating one of these credit card terminals. So we'd like to get as many folks who can do that as possible, so that if we're doing something outside of one of the summer concerts, with your permission, of course, then we can have t-shirts and things like that, and people can swipe their credit card and we're good to go. But we all have to be trained on it before you can do that. But the nice thing again is that through the town system, and they've got the drop-down menu, sort of like a separate page with different things. And so Amanda and Anne Marie are going to be following up with Joe about the particular merchandise listings and how to identify all of that. But I think it will be good to go, and hopefully in relatively short order too.
Yeah, yep. It sounded like it would just take a few hours to get it all set up. I pretty much told them to wait on everything until we get our merchandise in, which is en route. So once we get that, we can take real photos of it all, not just a mock-up.
Are there standard credit card processing fees on that?
Yeah, so it's the standard
So
2.5 or 3%, whatever it is.
And
We didn't talk a whole lot about that. I think he mentioned it, that there was the fee, but we can account for that within our pricing. Again, we haven't set our pricing in stone yet
No,
either.
I guess
so
my question was
I think
that we're not going to pass that's not being passed through to the town. That's something we're going to absorb into the merchandise.
We didn't talk a whole lot about it,
Okay.
so I would assume for now that we are responsible for it. Yeah, I have it on my list.
So we'll just get the net
Right.
net proceeds.
Yeah, that's typically how it works.
From
Yeah.
that, as
Okay.
those transactions
Yeah,
are done.
so the town will pay that out. The town will pay that fee with the money that we put
And then
in.
net it out.
Right.
And then,
Yes.
yeah, so we can account 50 cents or whatever, whatever the highest would be, we can account for that within everything, figure it all out, so.
And the other thing I should mention is that there's going to be a small charge associated with the fact that each of the departments in town have limited budgets and so forth, and they have to pay out of pocket for hourly for certain other work. So it might be an hour a week at $25 an hour or whatever, but we've arranged to have a separate donor who's going to take care of that, so that we don't have to worry about that. So I think it's going to work very well, and I think Joe and the rest of the office over there are very supportive
Yeah.
of this.
Yeah, they're very nice.
Is it credit or credit and debit? Do you know?
I'm assuming it'll process both.
I assume it's both, because if you use your debit, it would just process as credit usually, so.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be any card, and he didn't give us any limitations on card types, so as far as I understand, it's any credit card they can accept, which is good, so. Yep.
Okay. Anybody have any questions they'd like to ask Dale?
Will it also have online ordering? Like you'll be able to?
Yeah, so it'll,
service?
exactly, so we'll make a page that within the site where people can log in, pick what they want, pay, and then one of us will package it and bring it over, and we'll do it like once a week, probably every other week, so like, the 1st and the 15th they could pick up or something like that, just to make it less cumbersome on everybody.
And that person from Joe's office is going to help with the record keeping, the reporting, so that's where the time comes in terms of X number of orders, and then handling also the reporting to the treasurer's office. So I think they'll be maintaining some type of like a sub-account for their accounting purposes, so we know what monies are coming towards the Tricentennial Committee as a result of the sale of all those items. And I think also doing that in the platform, and I think the town will help promote that as well, also helps us get the word out. Both when we do it in person, the summer concert, things, Langwater and so forth, as well as doing it online. And having that link is something that we can also easily get out on social media and our website and so forth. So people just click on the link, takes them to that spot. They've got the drop-down menu, they make their selections on things. And it's got some nice functionality on it where you can put extra questions in, whether it's like shirt size.
Do you want to volunteer? Do you want to learn about volunteer opportunities?
Yeah. So I think it's going to give us some very good functionality across the board.
Question. Joe, who is Joe?
So he is the
How do you spell it?
PITTI. Just had a
In which
short
department?
park meeting with him as well at 5 o'clock. So his office is over at Rockingham Hall. He is the director, I think it's of community programs and recreation, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think that was.
Thank you.
So he's an enthusiastic supporter of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dale. Moving along on the agenda, committee reports. We're going to start with you, Diana, Secretary. Do you have any report that you'd like to make?
Not really, other than I've posted the agendas and I will post the minutes that are approved tonight. That's about it.
Treasurer's report. Jeanette?
Okay, so to date, we have received $45,800 in donations, the majority of which are pole banners. Expenses so far are $6,582.16. We did have some seed money to start with, so as of today, we have $93,643.04 indicated.
What's that total again?
$93,643.
6
Makes the difference.
Yes.
Well, we still have a lot of money out there that's outstanding.
Yes.
And it would be a good opportunity for me to thank those people that are viewing. We appreciate the donations we received. And if you'd like to donate, certainly contact Tricentennial Committee. We're not only looking to come up with enough money to run a year-round celebration, but we're looking for lots of volunteers that can join us. Any questions you may have about treasurer? Are there any bills that are outstanding that need to be paid?
I don't
Amanda, do
know
you
of
have
any, I
one?
don't know if you have some.
I don't have any new bills to be paid, but I just have that question on when they're gonna pay them, but whatever. They'll get paid.
Okay, moving along.
We have 2 hours.
Let's go to, before we go to our subcommittee reports, I'd like to welcome Fred Ames. Both Fred and William Ames are honorary co-chairs of our committee, and we're certainly happy to have them on board. And as I said earlier, Fred, we thank you and Joan for hosting our meeting tonight. Our subcommittee report. We did hear from Courtney Pupkin, our fundraising chair. She couldn't make it this evening. Okay, go ahead, Ken.
Okay, so I'll take that and the business and historical advice. Currently, we have gifts and pledges of approximately $246,000. Whole banners are paid and pledged at about $12,600 for a total of $258,600. Our target is $365,000, and we're approximately $106,000 away from the target. So, we need to raise some more money. Which we will do. The total number of banners that we have that are being funded are 42 at 300, so that's 12,600. And then sponsor banners, banners which are included in the sponsorship with a donor are 10. And then we have some comp banners such as the banner for ECAP, so to speak, 8. And then we have wait list of 3 banners. That wait list will only be utilized if we fall short on the total number of banners as we go forward. I'm working, now I'll go to the next, that's the fundraising side, the business and historical events. I'm working and I better get my ass and do a little better because it's not going as fast as I want to. But I do have one joint venture that's going on right now between the Eastern Historical Society and Museum, the Garden Club, and the Eastern Legacy Fund. There's going to be a Tricentennial garden planted on the grounds of the Eastern Historical Society and Museum.
Nice.
The Garden Club is going to create, plant, and maintain the garden. They're going to use, and I always get this wrong, so somebody correct me if I'm wrong. They're going to be using perennial flowers. I think those are the ones that come back with you.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Excuse me. And they're looking to do plants that would be native to the area at the time of the incorporation of the poison ivy plant. Anyway, and the Eastern Legacy Fund has made a significant donation this year towards that Tricentennial garden of $4,000, and there'll be other money raised for that.
Did you say 4,000?
4,000. This many.
That doesn't look like it.
Well, thank you, Ken, for that
That's my
update.
report.
Excellent.
It's quite obvious that we've already raised enough money to pay for 90 banners. The rest will be profit as people react. The next item on the agenda.
Go get him, Fred. Knock it off up there.
Legacy. Garden Club Legacy. Eastern Historical Society. Garden Club Legacy. Legacy.
Okay, anything else, Dale, that you want to say about
No, I'm all set on my end.
renovations?
No.
Mike Good was unable to be with us this evening, something else came up. But Mike, of course, is the head of marketing and communications. and how important that's going to be as we close in on 2025. Ken, would you like to give another report on your role and responsibility on the committee?
I just did.
That's all part of it, okay. Nothing to add? Okay. The next item is a report on the banners. You've already heard about that. So we're all set.
Dave, something for the banners, just so you know as well. With the system with the town, we'll be able to sell the banners, if there are still banners left, that we can do as a merchandise item if somebody wanted to pay by credit card for that as well. So that, I didn't mention that. That is what he said, right?
Yeah, so there's sufficient functionality that where people can fill out a box on there about how they want the banner to read and then just do their credit card. So it's another way for us marketing. So I think once we have the functionality up running, we're going to coordinate that with our website and our Facebook marketing, putting these kind of links out there to get the word. But having that kind of thing just will make it a lot easier. Of course, you could just click on something, and especially something like this because there's already 3,000 users in town. So a lot of folks are already familiar with how the system works. So it should be significant different to 1 hour. So.
Well, that's good news. The next item on the agenda I was going to add this to the agenda this evening was to vote on a chair and vice chair. As you know, the select board has divided the responsibility and appointments into 3 terms. Last night they voted on the committee. I'm hoping that everybody else on the committee will hold on to their responsibilities that they're taking care of. But the chair and vice chair is something that you should vote on. Now the choice is either to vote on it tonight or to table when we have more people here. It's your call.
Just vote on it.
I make a motion, what is it? That we elect David I. Clifton as chairperson of the Tricentennial Committee and Dale Carrister as vice chairperson of the Tricentennial Committee.
Can I be heard on that one?
Well, we can have a discussion.
Second, no discussion allowed.
We have a second by Ken.
Can't open the floor to nominations.
And even though Ken's not allowing discussion, is there anybody want to say anything?
I'll just say you've done a phenomenal job. Really, you're a good team. I think we're kind of all a good team.
Yeah, we are a good
We
team.
are a good team. So that's, I so move.
You accept the nomination, Bill?
If I've been nominated, yes. I would.
He's come with it. And we thank you very much. And we got a big responsibility as we get closer and closer.
We have to vote on it now, right?
Yeah. All those in favor of the chair and vice chair for the remaining part of our responsibility? It looks like it's unanimous. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Dave.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, with that, we adjourn. Hold your seats. Let's go to the coordinator's report. And again, I say to each coordinator, and Jessica, we welcome you this evening. Who's going to handle the responsibility of coordinating the picnic. And we have you on the mailing list to make sure that you know when all the meetings are. And somehow we missed the boat on that. We're going to start with the very first event, which is scheduled on January 4th, 2025. It's going to be our kickoff event at Stonehill College. And Amanda and Anne Marie are the co-coordinators. And they have been two important people to be leading the attack, so I'm going to pass it over to you, Amanda, so that you can give us an update.
So my only update is that I sent out the budget again yesterday just for final review. Since I'm the first, I don't really know what the process is other than needing a, I guess, vote of approval on what we're doing. If you need more detail than what I've provided in the small spreadsheet, let me know. We do have a floor plan that we came up with, so if you need to see that, we can definitely give you that as well. These are our final costs. Again, I put notes in here. Some of them waived the fee for delivery, and some are including it. And then the Stonehill fee, which is hefty, but includes campus police, as Dave had already mentioned. It includes all the custodial, the facility rental, the liquor license, all that. So that's what we have. And then we do have, as a separate item, the small fireworks display. That is kind of a separate budget line item because we don't have it in our budget to do, but somebody is donating the funds to do that anyways. We are planning on having the time capsule open ahead of the actual event start time. So we just need to know from the group if we were thinking we'll do a coffee station and then some kind of like custom cookies or something. We don't have to do that, but definitely a coffee station with something. We would like that to kind of be a separate line item. I don't think the cost is going to be very high. We're waiting on Stonehill to provide us with the cost for that coffee station for that 1 hour or half hour time capsule opening, which would be by invite only. You all will decide who's invited. I see, town people that are important, select board, this group, whatever, whoever you guys want to invite. And then once we get that cost for that coffee station, we'll bring that to the group as well. But really, that's it. And what's not on here is just the beer garden, and Shoveltown Brewery is going to do that with us. We have our glasses here, so take a look at it before we leave tonight, just so you can see that. It looks pretty good.
So the time capsule opening, is that going to be that night? Or
It'll be that
a day?
more. It'll be like noon time, same day. So it'll be our event is going to be from 1 to 5, with the fireworks starting about 6 o'clock, 6:30. Sunset is at 4:34 that day. So by 6 we should be dark enough to have the fireworks. So we're thinking ahead of that, maybe 12:15. Start time for the time capsule. Figure it'll take half an hour. We can use that front lobby area in the Stonehill, Sally Blair Ames complex there.
Yeah.
So there's that little front space. We can kind of set it up
Yeah, if you can,
as such.
just making sure everyone's like included, just so that way we know like what to cover, and then we have the agenda. So
Sure.
we're not missing anything.
I know where to find you.
Yeah.
Don't worry. When we get that finalized, we'll definitely let you know. But that's right now, like 12:15 to start, and we figure about half an hour if anybody wants to speak or whatever. So you guys can all decide on what you want to do for that. We'll just be the vessel for holding that at our event.
Do we know what the mini fireworks display is going to cost?
Yeah, so it will be about $12,000 or less is the quote that we got.
And you said somebody has donated that?
Or is planning to. I don't have that information, but Ken knows more than me.
And the beer garden?
The beer garden is not any, it doesn't have any cost to it. We're gonna set up some tables and chairs which are already available for us at Stonehill, and that's included in the facility rental. Shoveltown is gonna bring all their beer, wine. We can't do liquor, but we can do a tasting, so they do have bourbon that we can do as a tasting during that time. There's going to be food sold by Stonehill at some point during the day. It'll be kind of like, I don't want to call it fair food, but that's what we're thinking. It's more like sandwiches and salads and burgers is what I think we're gonna do, but again, we're still waiting for Stonehill on that. And then, that won't cost us anything, that will all be for purchase by somebody if they want to make that purchase. And then we're just gonna put, the only thing that will cost us is this Mike's Music stuff on this vendor list. We're gonna put some activities for the adults into the beer garden, like skee ball, arcade games, stuff like that. And then we're hoping to maybe get somebody to donate like a cornhole board that's custom with the logo for that, and then use that throughout the year. Anybody can use that at their events. And then maybe donate it to the town at the end or something. So we're hoping for that, but haven't seen anything with that yet.
Amanda, what time would the beer garden start?
It would be the whole time, so from 1 to 5.
So why would you have coffee at noontime? I don't get that.
Just for the time capsule opening.
Yeah, but why would you, I mean, that's noontime, why would you have coffee? Why wouldn't you?
I mean, it's an invite only. We don't have to do, we could do something different. Yeah, I just think we just need to do something.
Yeah, I agree.
There, like, it's gonna be
I like
cold.
that.
I figured it's January.
Yeah.
That's where we came up with coffee, but we can do any, I just wanna do some kind of station of beverages or food, just something small for the, maybe 30, 40 people that are gonna be, I don't know how many people, but however many people, we figure about 50 people to 100 people.
Because a lot of people don't drink, they won't drink beer.
Yeah. So,
No, I'm saying have soda and water, it's noontime. I just don't think coffee's appropriate.
Oh.
Yeah, we can definitely make that decision
I do.
when we get the pricing on like beverage station from them. That's totally fine. We're open to anything. I just think we need something for that. Any other questions?
I have a question. The skee ball machines,
Yeah.
there are two.
Yep.
Are they individual?
Yes, they're side by side.
There's just
Individual,
two?
no, 2 of them.
Okay,
Yeah,
is that enough?
that is enough. Yeah, so people could kind of battle. You know, they could play against each other.
Okay.
2 people. It's just something to do during. You
Yeah.
know, drink a beer, play a game.
Oh,
It's,
so these are more for adults?
yeah. So it'll be in the beer. We're gonna put them in the beer garden.
So,
There'll be plenty of stuff for the kids to do with like the obstacle course and, you know, all that kind of the kids' little concert stuff. So I think
Oh, I
we're
see.
putting some stuff for the adults.
so this is
in
the
front.
adult section?
Yeah.
Cool.
So we're gonna kind of rope off the beer garden area.
Yeah.
So it's still gonna be in the same space, so they'll still be able to see
Oh.
everything that's happening, but it will kind of be in the back quarter of the basketball court area.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So
Sounds
it'll
good.
be like you're somewhere else, but you're also
Yeah.
can see your children screaming over there, playing basketball, whatever, doing whatever they
Okay.
want.
I have a question. The apps.
Yeah, it's inflatable. It's not real apps. It's
No,
yeah.
you know,
So it's
and
an
that's what it
inflatable
is.
axe throwing. It's
No.
fair. It's a fair question because we would have done real axe throwing,
Oh.
but we didn't want to do that inside. If it was not
yeah,
going to be
yeah, in the
January, we would have
fall.
done it outside. Yeah, fall.
Yeah.
But no, this is inflatable, so they're inflatable.
And is that for adults or children?
Either.
Oh,
Anybody
gotcha.
can do that. Yeah.
Okay,
It's inflated.
So it's definitely not dangerous.
okay.
And
I
it's
feel better now.
yeah, and it's black light, so it'll be fun to it'll like light up in that area and stuff. So
Oh, these are.
yeah,
Amanda,
Good
I
question.
did want to ask you and Anne Marie,
yeah.
are you okay with the confirmation of the date, the time, the place?
Yep, yeah,
I know that you got a meeting coming up at Stonehill Tuesday.
yeah, we are hoping
Ken.
Tuesday to meet with Mark to get these menus, to get this finalized, because we really do need to get our vendor deposits out. So we definitely need Mark to approve it all too. So once you guys approve this, I'm hoping that Stonehill will approve everything and the layout of the space. So most of these vendors have worked at Stonehill before, so I don't see any issues with any of these, because when we mention Stonehill, they say, oh, we do events there all the time, or oh, we've done stuff there. So I don't see any problem with it, but so I think it'll be all good.
Well, we should know soon. We sent Stonehill's favorite alumni member
Yep. We're gonna sit Ken on them.
check out the fireworks.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have the firework answer, 100% confirmation from them on Tuesday. Mark is working on that, and then we're gonna bring the big guns with us to push them along.
Now, you're not prepared tonight to present a budget, but
This is our budget.
Thank you.
This,
that's all there.
it's all
okay.
here, yep.
Yeah.
It's all here. I sent it out as well, so, and I brought it last meeting too. So, yeah, that's all we have. We had to pare down a bit because we didn't realize how costly walking into Stonehill it was gonna be. But it is what it is. So we made it work, pivoted a little. It's all good. This will be a great day.
Any other questions you'd like to ask Amanda? Amanda, of course, her and Anne Marie been working behind the scenes doing lots of things, and we appreciate it.
Of course.
And I know that it's going to be the very first event, which means that they're quick in getting things organized, and I know she's agreed to print a flyer that lists all of our events, a fancy flyer that we can pass out to the general public. And then we also are thinking about the possibility of a flyer for each event that can just promote that event. One is kind of a schedule, and the other one is a highlight of each event that will take place. Any questions you'd like to ask Amanda?
Are you looking for a vote on your budget?
If that's the next step, yeah, I would like one if we can. Otherwise, what is the next step? I guess is the question.
I don't have that in front of me, but that's, is it 28?
23,710.
23,000.
Yep. No fireworks and does not include the time capsule opening as well. It's on here, but it's not included.
Does that include, I didn't see in your budget, banners and stuff?
Well, I figured we were going to use the banners that you have now. Or do we need to order our own?
Okay.
We can definitely discuss that.
You had a question, Diane?
No, I was going to make a motion to approve the budget as
Okay,
presented.
we got a motion from Diane to approve the budget for the opening kickoff event. A second by Dale. Any discussion? All those in favor?
We have a discussion. Discussion.
Yeah,
No discussion.
Yeah. Okay.
Just a point. If we're going to approve the budget tonight, we should approve the budget with a potential expenditure for the fireworks.
Include that.
So you may want to go with the 23.7 you have here, plus the, the coffee station for the time pass.
Yep.
And a number not to be exceeded for the fireworks.
Okay.
So I would suggest that the 23.7, maybe 35 to 37,000, something in that range to get a cushion.
Sure. Yeah, I have no idea what
I'm thinking the
that-
fireworks plus there's going to have to be a security, not security, but
fire. Yep.
contingent there.
Right.
We're probably looking somewhere in the vicinity, all in,
Yep.
I'd say roughly $38,000.
Okay.
I would amend the motion to approve a budget of not to exceed $38,000, so everything's included.
Seems fair. Is there a
What's
separate
that
donor
figure
for
again?
fire?
So that's 15,000 you're allocating for fireworks?
No, I'm saying
Wow.
they don't have the coffee station, if that happens, I'm saying just the total budget not to exceed.
Right, no, I get it. The cookies are
I'm saying-
$500
I'm saying
and
the
coffee for an
fireworks
hour.
are probably going to be in the vicinity of 12, maybe 13.
That makes
But
sense.
you also have to have the fire
Right.
department in there, we have to make sure we've got something built into that.
And you have a separate donor for the fireworks, right? Yes. Okay.
So we have an amendment. Ken, what was your figure again?
38.
I amend the motion to say that we're, excuse me, going to vote on a budget not to exceed $38,000.
We have a second.
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. Okay.
All right.
You're off and running, Amanda.
Thank you very much. We will get working on that. Can I just circle back to merchandise before you move on from mine, because you skipped
We'll
me
get
on.
it on the agenda.
Yeah, it was before this. that's
Or you
okay.
have to leave?
No, you skipped it.
It was
It
number
was
nine.
numbered. That's okay. We can go back to it afterwards too. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. Do you want me to do that now or?
All right, let's do it.
All right, I'll be quick. So this is the glass for Shoveltown. We're doing the Shoveltown beer, the Tricentennial beer via Shoveltown is being released on Friday, the 13th of September. Fun date at Trivia Night. So I spoke with Will today. They are going to start working on the cans, which are going to be custom art for Tricentennial. And either they're going to do it as its own beer, something a little bit different, or they're going to use one of their most popular beers. Either way is fine, and kind of, I don't call it white label, but relabel some of those. And we will partner with them with the glasses and the beer to do like a little package to sell. We can buy the glasses on our own as well, or guests could buy the glasses on their own, but that's going to be Friday the 13th. It's not an official, one of our 8 signature events, but it's going to be a fun little kickoff event.
That's this year.
This year,
2020.
yes, 2024, and that will then be sold at Shoveltown through all of 2025,
Okay.
through year end. So that is that. Our merchandise has been ordered, the t-shirts, the sweatshirts, the hats, all of that stuff has been ordered that we approved weeks ago, and we should see that in the next few weeks, which is going to be great. And the only other thing is at our brainstorm meeting, Anne-Marie and I made our own little Tricentennial cards. I know some people wanted them. I don't know if we want to take a vote if anybody wants them. I'm happy to design them and order them and do reimbursement or however we want to do it. We paid for these ourselves, but I'm happy to make them if anybody else feels that they need them. We were finding that we went out to businesses or something and they were saying, can I have your number? Can I have your email? Karen, I think, we gave you some, but I think we probably need some. But if anybody needs them, and they think they'd be beneficial, I'm happy to make them. So I just wanted to bring them up here again. So I think that's all I have.
What about the invoices? Are there any
They were
invoices?
the 3 that we did approved a couple weeks ago were submitted. At least one has been received. So Jeanette was working with the town to find out when they're getting paid because they are seeming to linger a little bit, but they're out there. They've been sent because somebody did get their payment. So Jeanette is getting that information so that we can tell our vendors when we are paying for something how long it's going to take. So otherwise, they've been submitted.
Good
Now we're
enough.
waiting.
Any other questions you might have regarding merchandise?
Nice job.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Amanda. Let's move on to the next event, which is the Art and Cultural Festival. It's going to start off here at Memorial Hall.
No, it probably won't start here, it'll end here.
Okay, why don't you go ahead, Joan? You
That
and,
will be
Diane.
on April the 26th of 2025, and that's going to involve the Garden Club, the Historical Society, QUISA, the library, the Art Co-op. Diane's had some conversations with the library. I've talked to the Art Co-op. Shoveltown will be here. They'll be selling beer and wine, but we're also going to do a wine tasting with our private label for the wine bottles. People can't purchase it here, but they'll be able to go after they pay for it with a ticket to go to Shoveltown and pick it up, much as like we're doing with the merchandise. I have not spoken to all the area restaurants yet. I've spoken to a couple to have them on site, have music here during the day, involve the schools, have a quartet going plus a regular band that will be outside of the school. And Diane, I think we were thinking maybe of announcing the winners of the contest at that time, and we'll do an award. So we'll have lots of music, art. We'll use both floors of the the building here to display art. We'll have a call to artists in town and the contest, and road will be closed. We'll have a police detail. I'm sure I'm leaving something out. If I am, jump in, but we're in the preliminary stages of all of this.
11 to
Yeah,
it's a-
area restaurants, we're gonna have food available here.
It's 11 to 4 here.
11 to 4 is the time.
And
Yep.
it's, Vince Jornales will, it's World Tai Chi Day, so he's going to do demonstrations at Queesit in the Garden. And the library wants to be very involved with lots of kids' activities and whatnot, so we're working with them.
Yeah,
The
and
library and
as long as
police house.
as long as the weather holds up,
Yeah.
that will work
Exactly.
out for the outside activities.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that's where we are, Dave.
And the idea of involving all the folks in the community that are into the arts, it's going to be a terrific event.
Yeah, it will be.
Any questions that you have, would you like to ask Joan or Diane? I don't think you need a motion right now. We'll-
No.
you'll be
I
coming back
I will,
later.
Diane and I are working on the budget, and I'll have something within that time frame that you outlined.
Good enough. And now we're going to move on to June 14th, which happens to be Flag Day in 2025. And I wanted to hear from Jessica Zimmerman what her ideas might be. I know we put some things down, Jessica, that we thought might work. My idea in the beginning was to kind of salute the red, white, and blue, the American flag. Originally, we planned on using the Governor Ames estate, and we were going to shoot fireworks off in the evening all at the same site. Well, that would have been terrific, only the estate didn't include fireworks there. So we wanted to also try to honor the veterans, the Eastern veterans. And we were thinking out loud about the possibility of having from 12 to 4 p.m., not a concert, but bring in a disc jockey who would play some music, that we'd have a picnic. We still have to decide, is it food trucks, is it the Lions Club? What do we want to do in terms of food? And then the question came up, we need a coordinator. And that's where Jessica comes in. We wanted to do something around the picnic. The flag ceremony, the U.S. flag truck from Massachusetts would come in with the largest flag. All the veterans in town would hold the large flag. The DJ would play some military music to salute our veterans. And of course, it's Flag Day. That would end at 4 o'clock, and then we'd go to the high school where the folks are working and came here later, or people adjourned and went on to the high school. I'm going to pass it over to you, Jessica. I just wanted
So
to
it
hear
sounds
you.
like you have the event planned, and I don't really need to coordinate it. I mean that in the nicest way. When I was brought on, it was a bigger event, picnic, fireworks, concert, and now we have 2 separate events on the same day. So the way that I look at this as a townsperson, the only people that are going to go to the picnic are people who know veterans who are being honored. And if you have the option as a townsperson to go to a picnic where veterans are being honored, and later on that same day there's another concert and fireworks, and you can only go to one, you're going to the concert and fireworks. So I'm completely confused how it broke off into 2 events. And what you just described will come together wonderfully. You have a truck coming in, you can salute the veterans, you don't need a coordinator for that.
Well, I may disagree with you in that. I think we do still need a coordinator. It's not expected that the chair of the committee would run the event. I just made some suggestions because we had to move the fireworks.
I understand the fireworks need to be moved, but it's now broken into moving of fireworks has now completely changed the day.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
We just thought it was
a
a,
picnic and a fireworks, like now it's two concerts, a band, a DJ and a concert, or, you know, they're still basically the same thing, it's music. Like, it's now a very diluted event instead of a signature event, because there's two. So I think when, and, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, again, I'm just a doer, I'm not somebody who's been coordinating this, but when fundraising happened, it was, you guys promoted so many signature events, and they were gonna be big town events, so you had some big donors who made donations for these bigger signature events, and the picnic was one of those signature events, which is now really very diluted.
what is your idea, or what would you like to do? Do you have any suggestions?
It shouldn't be broken up into two events. So it needs to be one event. So either everything is moved to where the fireworks are, something happens midday and just fireworks happen later. It shouldn't be two separate events.
Our hope was to try to use the Governor Ames estate for some event, rather than do everything at the same site. But let's ask some of the committee members
Dave,
if
can
you
I
have any
just
input. Go
say,
ahead, Joan.
our last meeting, we had the brainstorming meeting, and I think this was the same conversation that we had, that we were gonna lose the focus if we had the two separate events. And I thought we were leaning towards putting it into one event.
So I was told at the last meeting, because when I showed up, I was confused because it did say that they were now two separate events, the picnic and the fireworks. And I had asked, and I was told by everybody, it's most likely a typo. And clearly it's not. It's broken up as two separate events here on today's agenda as well. So it's not a typo. I think that the majority of the committee did think that it was one event, or that there wasn't also a concert at, like, the last agenda said that there was concert, fireworks, and food trucks at the fireworks at the high school later in the day. And again, it's just for the same day, it's two events, and one is going to be very diluted, and one you're going to have a lot of townspeople at. So you're not going to get a good turnout for both events.
If I could just jump in, I think the conversation we had about a typo was just about whether it was going to be a second concert thing. But I think it was clear at the time that it looked like it was going to be two separate events. But I think what we were discussing is we should be reconsidering that, whether that makes sense or not. I'm personally of the belief, as much as it would be nice to have something at the Ames estate, that shouldn't justify having a separate event, just a desire to have something there. I share some of the concerns about having two separate events and getting diluted generally. I'm also of the belief that there could be some value to both saluting the veterans with a flag and followed by fireworks and music all at one, which presumably would need to be at the high school. I think you're packing we have a more impactful event in evening that way. It's one thing that people are going to, and there's not going to be confusion about one or the other. So I do share some of those concerns about having two on the same day, especially when we have so many. We're getting spread so thin with all of the different activities that we're doing generally. So that's just my 2 cents.
Anybody else?
Well, that's sort of interesting, but we have to make sure, because we do have donors specifically
Right, for
each
fundraising purposes, they were two events that happened to be on the same day at the same venue.
True.
So now they're two signature events at two different venues. So is it possible to move the picnic to the high school?
I certainly think it's possible, sure.
We need to speak with the sponsors first before making any changes.
That makes a difference, yeah.
Don't you have to ask the high school too, though?
I mean, it all has to be discussed, right? Like, we have to ask for permission to use the venue, and, whoever, if the sponsorship was based on the government estates being used, then they have to speak to sponsorship as well.
Right. No, but I meant,
But it
put
needs
it
to
all
be
at the high
done,
school.
but it needs to be decided what's actually happening.
So I guess the question from everybody is separate and apart from the concern of sponsors, which clearly we have to address, and having appropriate people speak to the appropriate people. What do people generally think about the difference between two separate events and combining as one, or, you know, for the folks who haven't spoken yet, do people have a thought one way or the other on it?
I think if it's promoted at Governor Ames Estate to have it'll be a pretty big event with the flag and the veterans and some music and kids' activities, and whether the Lions Club prepares the food or whatever, and have a big picnic, people will come if there's free food and there's activities and there's, I don't know.
So I don't know for sure because I'm not on the fundraising committee, but my understanding was whoever donated for the picnic is required that they are the main sponsor.
They are the main sponsor.
Yeah.
That's true. They are the main sponsor. And if they're donating whatever they're donating, and it pays for the food provided, they're still the main sponsor.
I don't see why it would matter really where it is, unless when it was sold, it was said that it's at Governor Ames Estate.
The sponsor, well, you would know, it's the bank. How would they feel about it?
I mean, does the bank care
I don't
where
know.
the event is?
No, I don't think we care
Versus,
where
like,
it is. It's
the
just-
event and their name being prominent
Yeah.
on the event is really
It was,
what would be
we
important.
wanted it something to be family-friendly event that was
Right.
gonna bring families and people from town.
Together.
Not just veterans.
But it's
Not just veterans,
It's not
no.
just veterans, it happens to be Flag Day.
Right.
Like the library wants to be involved. They want to have, kids come in a few weeks ahead of time and make flags and, include the schools and whatever. And so it's still doable if somebody wants to do it.
My only suggestion with the school is, it sounds like it would all be outside.
Yeah.
So you just have to think about the bathrooms, because obviously there's no bathrooms outside at the school. And there were a lot of rules and regulations put on using the school.
Oh, right.
But it was inside. We were talking inside.
Oh,
Where
yeah,
this is
right.
June, it would be outside.
True.
So, you'd be using, I would assume, the fields and the football stadium. I don't know. What you were thinking? I don't know.
mean, the bathroom situation would be no different if Governor Ames Estate.
Right.
It is in the high school.
Well, I'm just saying the
Yeah,
superintendent
porta-potties.
specifically was giving us a lot of rules and regulations around doing our event inside, not the bathrooms. But it's just something to remember, that's another level of needing approvals on that. But I think that moving it all to the high school makes sense. I mean, I feel like there's more space, there's more parking. We're not using the high school otherwise, and I know it takes away from using Governor Ames Estate, but it's another venue in town that we were hoping to use anyways, so I mean, if...
And I guess my question is if we're set on using Governor Ames Estate, why can't fireworks be set off somewhere else? Like, why does something have to happen other than fireworks from the high school? So if we have a picnic from, 1 to 6 or whatever it is at the Governor Ames Estates, but then we have fireworks at 9 o'clock at the high school, why does it need to be another band and music and all the other stuff?
Well, there was an intention. I know there was an error to have another concert. There was an intention to have a DJ so we could have music for the flag ceremony.
Some sort of music.
And we can do one or
Yeah,
two
just background
things.
music.
Like background music,
We
right?
can either decide tonight that we want to shift everything to the high school, or I could sit down with Vice Chair and Jessica to talk about a plan to come up with what we think would be the best solution, and maybe get some input from others. How do you feel about that?
I'm here to execute a vision, but I guess my thought process is 2 events make it diluted. So as a townsperson who has younger children, if I'm going to pick an event to go to, it's most likely going to be the fireworks. So I think the fireworks are the draw for the picnic in general. And as much as we want to salute the veterans, which is a wonderful idea, it's not enough of a draw to the community to make it a giant family event. Where, if you go to an art festival or something like that, you have interest in that. Where a picnic, you don't need any interest other than a family and be a member of town.
Well, I think our common goal is to try to bring the community together. I have personally no problem with moving the event to the high school, but I'd like to get a reaction from everybody. How do you feel about that? If we moved everything from the salute to the flag, to the picnic, to the concert, to the fireworks, and honoring the veterans all at the same site.
You could do that, Dave, and use the stadium to honor the veterans. Use the stadium area to honor the veterans a little earlier in the day.
I mean,
And maybe not have it as early, start the picnic at like 4. Use the stadium to get your big flag, honor the veterans, and people come and whatever.
And again, the reason why, Jessica,
It's not bad.
we had a change on the fireworks site. So we started to think a little differently. But,
But Dave, if we're gonna do a picnic, it's much nicer to have it at the Governor Ames. And what, you're gonna have people sit in the fields at the high school? I mean, that's not really conducive to a nice family outing and picnic.
I'm not so sure about that. I think a lot of people have a close affinity to the school, athletic issues, and I think the draw will be the fact that you're also celebrating the veterans and you're doing some fireworks after. I personally like the idea of just consolidating everything, but I think we have to talk to the sponsors first to kind of make sure that, I don't think we can vote on changing anything until we follow up with the sponsors about it.
That's right, because you've got a separate sponsor for the fireworks and a separate sponsor for the picnic.
One thing if they're on board with it, but I just don't think we should be voting on making that change
True.
until we touch base with the sponsors because they have certain expectations.
Yeah.
I also
Okay,
wonder if,
but I'd
well,
like
where
to
you have a
suggest,
vision. So Dave,
to our group, and Jessica, hopefully you'll be available to sit down with Dale and I to discuss some of the possibilities, then come back at the next meeting and approve it. I certainly can go either way, and it sounds like Dale could go either way as well. We want to do the right thing. We know originally when we touched base with the Bank of Easton, that was the bank that Ken went to. The plan was for them to do the picnic, and along with the picnic came the band concert and the food. So that was all part of the sponsorship of the Bank of Easton. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jeanette, is that?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And of course, the fireworks were different. They were a different sponsor.
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
Rockingham Park is within walking distance of the high school, right? So what about doing like the flag and picnic things and then just do the fireworks over within walking distance? So you have your event at Rockingham Park for your picnic and so forth, and then for sponsorship, you're still having two separate things, but still within walking distance, and then perhaps have a nicer venue for Rockingham Park because you've got basketball courts where people can be doing other things for the picnic, and then walk over to the high school for the fireworks to follow. And if you're there for the picnic and you're doing the picnic at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whatever, that might lend itself a little more. So just an idea, and I think we should include, in whether it's Courtney or somebody else, just on the issue of the sponsors before, if it's just you and me talking, we should include that piece of the puzzle as well.
So, Dale, do you and Jessica agree with having a meeting?
Yep.
Just to try to put all the pieces together? How do you feel, Jessica?
No, it's fine. It doesn't need to be consolidated into one.
Doesn't what?
It needs to be consolidated into one.
Anybody else have any input? Joe, you scratching your head or raising your hand?
No, neither.
Would you need to have
Chewing.
food trucks at
Karen?
the, would you need to have food trucks at the fireworks?
No, I
From
think
7
it
to
would-
9, you wouldn't need that.
I think it would
You'd
be-
have things at the
No,
picnic.
it'd be one or the other. I know Ken suggested the food trucks,
7:23.
but others on the committee thought it would be a good idea to involve the Lions Club.
No, I meant at the fireworks, yeah. the way it's printed on here, you
Well, I
have
think
food
that's the
trucks.
point, it's different.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
gonna change
We
it.
don't need food trucks in the
So why don't we just table it for now and follow up with a separate follow-up, and we should include a sponsorship element as well before we make any recommendations to bring back.
We'll do that, and maybe tonight we can decide on a time we can get together.
Very interesting.
Okay? Let's move on to the next event. I know Corey's not here, he's the coordinator of the parade. He has a meeting coming up this week involving the parade committee, which Ken is also involved with. The parade committee right now has some good news. We're working with the Clydesdales to come to the Eastern Parade. We're also touching base with the Shriners, and the Shriners have agreed to come to Easton for the parade.
That's cute. We'll do that.
The fire chief feels that because we're having the parade now on July 12th, instead of the 4th, we get more people interested in coming to our parade. Our hope is to make this the largest parade the town's ever had. And of course, you know the parade route is going to start at the monument. It's going to come up Center Street, take a right on Main Street. And the review stand's going to be in front of the DPW. They may not be there at that time, but the space may be there for the review stand. They got a lot of great ideas. You want to add something, Ken?
No, we've been looking at a lot of organizations. I happened to mention to him about the big hot dog truck. We've seen it on TV. It's a brand new. It's a brand new.
Oscar
So well, he texts right to him right while we were at the meeting. So things like that we're trying to bring out. But the kids like those kind of things. You know? So, but there's a lot to be done yet to get all these. Now that we're having it screwed up on actually the 4th of July. I mean the other date that we were going to run it on. It's going to make a difference because all the other cities in town are trying to get the fire trucks because we're going to have all the emergency vehicles. Our plan is to have them all first in the first division because they got to get back to their towns, you know, to cover their town. So it's a lot of, we still have a lot of things to do yet.
We also have plans for a flyover, the town of Easton and the parade route. And of course, the entire parade route is going to be decorated with banners on every other pole. Wooden pole on one side of the street. And all the way up to the chocolate place, it's going to, people are going to know something's going on in town. Although we don't have total approval of painting the middle line red, white, and blue for the parade route, we do have approval to put something on the parade route in different locations along Center Street and Main Street to promote the 300. So it's coming together. It's going to need lots of volunteers. It takes about 30 or so volunteers just to make a parade route, happen, to line up the parade. I think a quarter of the parade route is going to be just people lining up between fire trucks and police cruisers, antique cars, horses, the list goes on and on. It's going to be a terrific parade. There may be more people in the parade than watching. I'm kidding. I'm hoping that we'll get a terrific turnout for a parade that Corey's excited about it. He's been responsible for running parades in town, and he's got an active committee that is going to come together. Any questions on the parade? They will be coming sometime in July or August to present their budget for the parade. And there'll be a lot of people coming in the parade that we don't have to pay. Yes. So, the next event is the block party. Dan and Jamie Anderson are coordinating the block party. It's going to be on the main street. It's scheduled for September 6th. The block party is going to include all kinds of things. The street will certainly be blocked off. And it's a chance to bring the whole community together. And we purposely have tried to schedule not everything at once. Someone said to me, what day is the 300th anniversary going to be held on? It's going to be scattered throughout the year. There's something from January through December. And we're excited about it. So Dan and his wife couldn't be here tonight. They'll be at the next meeting, and they'll have the opportunity to, he's got 15 or so people already involved on his committee in planning and preparing. Go ahead, Joan.
Dave, September 6th is a Friday. I don't think they intended to have it on a Friday.
I got the right date. 2025.
Oh, you know what? I'm looking at this.
It's 2025.
I do have the right date.
No, it's me. You have the right date. I apologize.
I did the same thing.
Yes.
Have they picked a location yet for the block party?
It's going to be on the main street. We're going to move down, I guess, from Memorial Hall. That's what the plan is.
No.
We're not sure whether or not you have something going on.
Because we're probably going to be having an event, so that's why I had brought up before we can't be blocked off here.
I think we talked about
Yeah,
that.
we did.
We said at Bill's House of Pizza, down to William Street, and then down Sullivan to the Children's Museum in that area.
Yeah, I think that was it.
So it won't affect
We'll
here.
speak to the coordinators about
Yeah.
that again as a reminder.
I figured they wouldn't appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Fred, for
We're
bringing
blocked
that
up.
up. Any questions on the parade, the block party? The bonfire is scheduled on October 11th. The fire chief is the person responsible for the fireworks as well as the bonfire. We couldn't have a better person in terms of public safety. He is the guy that's going to decide whether the fireworks go on or off because of the safety part. He's going to be in charge of the bonfire, not only setting it up, but there'll be a concert. And his hope was to have food trucks there for people that want to come early. The plan for the bonfire is from 6 to 9. It's going to start out as a big time bonfire, and as it burns down, it'll be smaller. But the plan is to do it on the lower field at the high school. The school committee and our superintendent has agreed to give us permission for the bonfire and the fireworks. We certainly can't move those two. They're in concrete right now, so we're happy to have the site for both those. That was the biggest challenge. But up for discussion will be the picnic, and we certainly we want you to discuss that with your boss, Jeanette, as well, about the change, possibility of a change in the picnic site. Okay. The final event is going to be the anniversary gala, and that's going to be co-chaired by Amanda as well as Anne Marie. I was originally co-chairing that before Amanda and Anne Marie came by. But as the chair, I'm involved in every committee anyway, so I don't have to put myself down as a tri-chair.
Sure.
I'll be there for you, Amanda, anything that you have to do. I only say that from my experience of running the gala and running a town celebration. I'm as good as the people I surround myself. Without this committee, whether you're appointed by the select board or you're a volunteer, like many that are here this evening, that want to be part of the celebration. And there's about 35 other people out there that have communicated with us that want to be involved. And we ask you not just to come on the day of the event, but we'd like to have you come earlier and participate. The last 6 months is going to be fun. It's going to be more than just cookies. I repeat that, it's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun and cookies, right? You don't need to cut out the cookies.
The gala, and I know Amanda can talk briefly about that, but we have a meeting coming up at Stonehill College. Father John has rolled out the red carpet for us. And it didn't hurt that one of our alumni members, Ken on our committee, is well respected at Stonehill. And we're going to meet and we're going to try to make sure that it's going to be a top-notch black tie event. We say to all the folks out there, if you don't have a tuxedo, either get one or come to the celebration anyways, because we want everybody to come together and get out those gowns, get out those tuxedos. We're going to roll out the red carpet as you enter Stonehill. We're going to have, you're talking DJs, we're talking about spotlights as you enter. We're talking about plenty of parking. We're talking about Stonehill College not being in session on December 27th. It's going to be indoors, and we know that it's going to be ending the final event. We have Southeast Regional Vocational Technical High School is making the cake. We're inviting the select board to cut the cake. There's going to be not as many speakers. Take it away.
Yeah, very few speakers. We want this to be a fun event, not a learning event. It's the end of the year. We're celebrating that it's come and gone. It's over. I didn't want to say it's over. But I think it'll be black tie optional. I think is a fair comment on the official invitation, but we haven't really gone very far with anything else. When we meet about our kickoff event with Mark next week at Stonehill, the hope is that he'll at least be able to send us some menus after that, so we can then get together. Joan has volunteered to work with us as well, so hopefully after that I can get us some menus so we can all sit down and make some decisions. We'll have a really nice meal. We'll do some kind of nice giveaway for everybody that's attending. We'll sell single tickets and tables. We can fit like 700 people in the gym, so or in the Sally Blair Ames Sports Complex. So we're not worried about space. So there are some tables that are being given away with the larger sponsors, so that'll be accounted for. We'll have kind of cocktail hour and the red carpet and a photo booth when you first walk in. But aside from those items, we haven't gotten very far.
And the gala is going to be sponsored by Lee Williams.
Yes.
In memory of Lee, who made the first official donation of $54,000 to our committee. He thought in advance. He's the guy that thought about the future, and he wanted to have funds available for the Tricentennial Committee. So we thank the family for following through on that. And that takes care of all the signature events.
Chris has a question.
We have to tweak it a little bit.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Chris has a question.
So real quick, because you actually brought something up, it's a celebration of it's come and gone.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts of having a slideshow of all the events at the gala?
Maybe. Yeah, I'll put that in our talk. Yeah, let me add that to our talking list when we get together.
Just something that
Yeah,
obviously
see what we have.
very minimal, like equipment,
slide.
just a laptop projector.
Yep.
screen.
I think we have to pay for AV anyways
Okay.
on that event, so might already have it. So I'll add that to our running list of questions.
Just something, we'll try
Okay.
to get as many people in the slideshow as possible, that way everyone can see themselves.
Yep.
There's something else that might be nice too, is along those lines, is having some like the historical photographs as well. I think people would find very, very interesting.
Yeah.
You know, because you're wrapping up the celebration kind of thing, and so having something that's, I know you're doing the book thing otherwise,
Yeah.
but having some of the photographs of our Easton's key historic locations and so forth, not like a history lesson, but a visual kind of thing, I think would be great.
So something that I did ask Ken to work with the Historical Society for our kickoff event and then to use for any other event after are like, is a timeline, kind of like a poster timeline, nicer than just poster boards, but hoping for like a really nice timeline, and Piper offered to help design it of 1725 to 2025, kind of like the town through the years. However, whatever that means to the Historical Society, because that is not me. So whatever that means to them, and kind of get it out on paper that we can display at some of these events that want to display it. We do want to display it at the kickoff. We can definitely display it again in the hall as people walk in at the gala. Kind of as you're walking in, and then during cocktail hour, if they wanted to take a look at it, we'll have some historical
Even
facts
things like
and
the
stuff
charter
as
for
well.
1725, which there's a certified copy of it in the Cullen Corona Room. My friend was looking there last night, but certified copy from 1956, I must have been one of the prior celebrations of the charter from 1725. You know, it's fascinating stuff. I mean, just think about it. That's your first slide, I think.
And I'm hoping that some of those will be included in our visual board, and that again, anybody, once we use it at the kickoff, anybody that wants to use it at subsequent events is welcome to it, and then we'll definitely put it out again at the gala, but maybe we can include even more if we're gonna do some kind of slideshow. That'd be
Hey,
good.
one question on the gala.
Yeah.
If it's black tie optional,
Lose your suits.
what would everybody else wear then? Could they be in sweatpants? Could they be...
No, so it's just, if you don't have a tux, you can wear a suit. So instead of wearing a tux, you wear a suit. Yeah.
Suit.
That way, and maybe
It's a formal event.
A formal event. Maybe we put a formal event. Black tie optional, black tie attire, preferred. Yeah, so we can rephrase it. I just don't want people to feel that they have to come in this full gown and this full tux, 5-piece tux with the cummerbund, all that, because they don't have to.
But not sweatpants.
No sweatpants. They will be turned away at the door. No, so I think.
Torn jeans and a t-shirt.
Yeah, you see you in spandex.
We're not letting you in.
That's the one you're worried about, isn't it?
Yeah, so we can phrase that however, maybe black tie preferred.
You should set a box.
Yeah. So maybe black tie preferred instead of black tie optional.
Appropriately dressed.
We ask just one person to speak at a time.
Sorry.
Nothing you can.
Go ahead, Amanda.
I was just saying, maybe we do black tie preferred. I think Jessica said that, and that's probably a better way to phrase it than black tie optional.
Yeah.
Just that way, if somebody says, oh, I don't have a tux, I don't have, I've paid the $250 to come to the event, I don't have another $300 to rent a tux for that night, I have a nice suit at home, I'm gonna wear that. Like, that's okay, as long as you're dressed up, well dressed, and we can definitely rephrase that some other way as well. Yeah, for sure.
And Amanda, I do have some formal invitations, proclamations from another community to give you an example of some things you might like to look at, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. What I'd like to do right now is just mention briefly, I know Karen is here this evening. She's dealing with the farm in terms of other events that are going to take place. Both Diane and Roz are putting together a schedule for the entire year. It's not just about signature events, it's about all events that have been held in the town of Easton, annual events from year to year. We want them all to be part of the overall schedule. And I wanted to say, Karen, that I know in your discussions, you and your husband have been more or less the co-chairs of working closely with the farm to plan with anything you'd like to say about that.
I'm working on hearing back from the Toe Jam band to be the band during the time from 10 to 2. And I don't know how we go about the security part. I wouldn't know where that part of the budget would be because they want us to pay for security.
What was that question again?
So I'm waiting to hear back about the band, of the cost for that. And I don't know how we go about security for that because we can't just do that one cop directing traffic like they do at night. I don't think that's safe.
You're going to have whatever the chief
So I don't know
recommends.
how you put that into a budget because I don't know how that goes. That's a 4-hour stint, I know.
Well, we have a security budget that we're going to put together.
So that
And
would
I
need
know
to go
that
into
the
that.
police chief's going to recommend how many officers we need for each event. And he's going to give us a deal because this is a town event.
Yeah, that would, that and the band and probably the face paint stuff is all we're gonna pay for that. They're gonna provide everything else. food that people would purchase food there, not,
Right.
there won't be free food. But the kids will
I
have
know they're
a
gonna
lot of
buy into
activities.
some things, and you may have to come back to the committee
Right.
with what your needs are. Okay. Portland State Park is also gonna do an antique auto show. Their hope is to get 300 antique cars. And that is scheduled in October. I think it's the 11th. And it's going to be in the morning. It's going to be a Saturday. And this is an annual thing that they do, but they're going to aim for 300 cars as part of the celebration. Neil Levine at McGuire's is interested in doing a block party. He's going to figure out a scheme to be able to do that. And of course, way back when we first started, we were encouraging neighborhoods to consider the possibility of doing a block party. As a spillover from the block party that we're going to have as part of our town celebration. But we'll have more on that later.
We'll do the Halloween parade too.
Dave,
Halloween parade, everything that goes on in the town, yes.
is Borderland Saturday, October 11th, same day as the bonfire? It doesn't matter.
The
but
same
it's
time as the bonfire.
Same day as the bonfire, in the morning.
One's in the morning.
Yeah, he said the car shows in the morning.
And the car shows in the morning, okay.
So, as we get closer and closer to 2025, any feedback that we can give as members to both Diane and Ross as they put a major schedule together, that's going to be important in terms of publicizing that. And I see it going in the anniversary book, Chris, as well. A copy of it, a copy of the proclamation. There's a lot of things that will be in that book as a momentum of our year. I did want to mention something as we get closer to adjourning, that we have been dealing back and forth with the billboard company out of Stoneham, Massachusetts. Clear Channel. The beginning of Belmont Street is where the billboard is located. And we agreed back when we first started for $29,700 to put a billboard up. I went back to them because I came from Stoneham. That's where I was born. And the fact is that we brought it down to $24,950. So that's a big jump in our favor.
I thought you were gonna say it's going up.
And we're looking forward to making sure that we get the appropriate marketing. Mike Good is dealing with the company on what's going to go on the billboard. And of course, there'll be brief, can't be everything on it, but so that people can see it and read it. Any questions that anybody has, I'd like to ask our honorary co-chair, Fred. Anything you'd like to bring up, Fred?
No, not at this point, but no. Thank you.
And our newest members who are here tonight, would you like to say anything about, this is your first meeting?
Yes.
And we welcome you to coming aboard. And
Very overwhelming, but that sounds great. There's a lot to do.
anybody else that didn't have a chance to speak, Ken?
No, the other thing I'm gonna be doing, I'm putting up, the chairman of the volunteers. I'm gonna be contacting all the people that are running the certain events, because I'm just gonna need some kind of a rough idea how many people you feel that you need for it.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna be checking with police and fire with regards to security, bonfire, I'm gonna be approaching a lot of organizations because they kind of work together. If you get 3 or 4, 5, 6, 10 people from that organization, they know the person that they're going to be working with, and it kind of works out well. Dave and I have done events, and it's always worked out well in that event. The other thing is too, the Boy Scouts did the stacking of all the pallets when I did an event over there, if you remember, years and years ago. We had the hot air balloon and everything there for recreation and concerts. And the Scouts went over and they stacked all of the pallets up. And we do need a lull, and everybody was talking about paying for the lull. Well, we know a couple of people that got a lull, so I don't see that to be a problem. Actually, John Morgan is the one that ran
That's good.
from the Lions Club.
Okay,
How about Chris?
and just so we move along, I wanted to ask Chris, you want to introduce your guest?
Yeah, so this is Ann Riker. She's going to be helping out with the photography. We had a blast. We actually photographed the fire department a few weeks ago. The school, the OA High School, came out with 26-foot scissors that we could climb, and we photographed the entire fire department overlooking the Scotto Stadium. So that's 1 feet. We tagged Easton 300 in social media, but we are going to be scheduling all the different groups in town. We have a subcommittee meeting in a few weeks too to discuss how to tackle it, especially having this good schedule now. This will be get us covered.
Hey, Chris, you'll at some point be getting back to us on the cost of the anniversary book.
Yep. I have some discussions going with the book company, and I'm actually ordering one of my hardcover photography books through them in the next few weeks. So once I get that back, I'll actually be able to show it and what that looks like. So.
Thank you, Chris. Diane, the cookbook.
Yep, the cookbooks will be ordered August. We're waiting for a logo release, which I'll give you to give to Piper. Maybe you could contact Piper. I contacted her, but I'm missing her. So we need a release for the logo artwork.
And Diane, you and Roz are ahead of the game. You've already got the cookbook done with all the recipes.
307.
She's ready to go to print.
307 recipes.
Anyways,
We're done.
Jessica, do you have any final comment before we adjourn? Okay, again, I want to thank you all for coming. I just want to give you a reminder that on the 23rd of July, we're going to do a photo at that meeting. That's the 4th Tuesday in July. I thank you all for...
Do you have an ECAT show coming up? You didn't write that down. Do you have an ECAT show? Do you have a show at ECAT?
Yes, we have a show at ECAT, and
when is it?
that's coming up. We had to change the date because it's during the 4th, so we're going to change that date.
Okay.
We're going to have the select board on. We're going to have some of the sponsors come and join us. We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Kaboom.
No wonder our chair is great.
We have a second.
Second.
A second. We don't have a second, I guess we'll have to switch it around.
I did.
Go ahead, Joan.
Approved.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, ECAT, for covering this.
Thank you.
Stay tuned, folks, we need volunteers.
Dale.